And welcome back, footy fans, to another episode of Donnie's Disposals. I am your host, Coach Donnie Hess here, back with another AFL supporter series. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the females are representing as we go through the supporter series during the off season. And ladies and gentlemen, joining me today, a very good friend of mine, somebody I've met online. I had the incredible honor of sitting down and talking with her virtually a while ago, and I had such a great conversation with her. I wanted to bring her back. I know how much of a nuffy she is for her club. If you're watching the video, you already know. If you're listening to it, you'll find out in just a little bit what club. Let's introduce her. We have Dee joining us. Dee, it is great to see you again and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm a bit nervous, but yeah, I'm excited to talk about, one of my favorite things to talk about.
Fantastic. Absolutely love it. No need to be nervous. We're just having a chat. Don't worry about it. We are just going to have some fun. So let's jump right into it. This is a footy podcast, but we're going to start off just a little bit about you. I want to know a little bit about Dee outside of the game of football.
So I live in New South Wales, in Jervis Bay, so not in AFL heartland. Yeah, I live here with my family and just I love footy. I love watching footy. I just don't watch my team's footy. I try and convert everyone that I work with, my friends, to say, hey, you need to watch this game. You'll love it, I promise. Because here they just call it aerial ping pong and they just don't get it. And I'm like, you don't understand.
It's the good old fashioned New South Wales and the rugby league crowd are always fun to sit there and chat with. But let's jump in. We're going to talk Aussie rules footy. Footy is going to be called footy in this particular episode. So I would love to hear this as a footy nuffy that you are. What is your favorite thing about the sport of football?
The history, um, the the way that people love their club with like this deep passion, and it's a family thing. It's from the time that you're little. It's you either go with a family team or you choose your own team, and then you go to the football games, and it's just a whole nother experience and atmosphere, and it's fun and it's welcoming, and yeah, I wish I could go to more games, but you know, I would be there if I was in Melbourne. I'd be there every weekend.
There is nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. The biggest thing is you watch the footy as much as you can. You support your
Mhm,
club. You're there for it. I'm fascinated on this with as much as you love the football. Put yourself, let's go back in the time machine.
mhm.
Earliest footy memory that you have.
See, I actually had my dad come over here yesterday and I was talking to him about it because I can't really remember my first football game because I was also born in New South Wales.
Hmm.
So, but what I do remember from a long time ago when I was a little girl, my dad used to pay me 20 cents to sing every club song.
I love it. That
So
is
when I was
fantastic.
little, I could sing all of the club songs, and then there was a couple of other ones like Up There Kazali,
Hmm.
um, the Jack Dyer song, Graham Polly Farmer, all those kind of like I don't know what kind of songs you would call them. Like they're just old classic songs about
Hmm.
legends that have played the game. So those are my earliest memories of football itself, knowing what football was and knowing, but I don't remember my first game. I was tracking for ages. I think it was in the 90s sometime, and it
Hmm.
may have been Richmond v Sydney.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm gonna do this quick question without notice. How
So
many of the team's songs can you still sing, or have you started to get fuzzy on a few?
I'm fuzzy on a few, but once I start hearing the start of it, it
Mm,
comes back to me.
yep.
Like my favorite song apart from my club song is the GWS Giants song. It's like it's an earworm.
Hmm.
Um so yeah, no, I'm pretty good. I'm still pretty good. Once I get the first part of it, I'm like, all right, starts unlocking something.
hmm I'm one of those. I catch myself a lot of times humming along, and I know most of the songs well enough.
Hmm.
I may not know every word, but I'm a lot like
Hmm.
you. Like you start hearing it, they become an earworm, and it's just really
Hmm. Yeah,
hard not to. So let's go to it. I know you were itching to talk about this. Who is your club, and why do you support them?
it's the mighty Richmond Tigers. Um, I support them because in 1983, my dad wanted a boy.
I love it.
Um, and I just grew up with my dad watching it. And yeah, it's just always been the Tigers. And it's a way that I connect with my dad too, particularly as I got older. And we weren't living as far apart, and we would
Mhm,
be able to talk about it and connect with football. Like it's a connection in between dad and I. And also my grandfather as well. My grandfather will call my dad at quarter time and half time. And, you know, more often than not, dad's with me. So, we talk about the game and
mhm.
stuff like that.
That's fantastic. Absolutely love it. So as you kind of answered that, you started into the next one. So it's definitely a family club. But I gotta ask this: is there anybody in the family that has broken from the Richmond Tigers and supported another club? And how's the family dynamic when you guys get together?
So, my dad's the breakout one in the family.
Okay.
Yes. So, everyone on my dad's side of the family are Geelong supporters.
Okay.
And my great grandmother, when she passed away, was a member of the Geelong Football Club for over 70 years. So it was my great grandmother's best friend who was a Richmond supporter,
Hmm.
who Auntie Alice, I believe her name was. And at her time of passing, she'd been a Richmond Tigers member for 75 years. And yeah, she must have done something because, my granddad supported Richmond, but he lives in Geelong. So he's been a Geelong supporter for quite a while, but he was a Richmond supporter for a while there. But it's definitely just me and dad.
I love it. I appreciate that. Like I said, sometimes the banter sometimes is my favorite part in amongst the family when you get multiple clubs. It's absolutely fantastic. So
Oh
let's
yeah, it is
let,
fun.
let's go to it. As you said, you have many years. It's a connection with your dad. What is the first Tigers item you were ever given or bought?
Mm. I'm going to say it's a scarf. The
Mhm,
first time, that's all you need to go to the footy, right? You
mhm.
just need a scarf. That's where it all starts. You start off with your scarf, and then you go from there. You get your jerseys, you get your beanies, you get your hats, um, all of that kind of stuff. So it definitely was a scarf.
Awesome, awesome. So I'm again, I sit here and as a American footy fan, as somebody that I've like I said, I've chatted with Australians, Americans, Scottish, Irish, so many people from around the world that love this sport, and we all fandom differently. Okay.
Hmm.
Fandom is one of my favorite things in the world because it is never cookie cutter to each person. Everybody fans differently. So I'm fascinated on this, D, and I know this a little bit. I follow you on social media. We've went back and forth a lot. So personally, I know the answer to this question. Describe your fandom of the Richmond Footy Club for me because I cannot wait for this answer.
Oh, it's hardcore. It's a part of who I am. It's the 6 months without footy, if you don't make finals, is really, really, really long time.
Mhm.
And when there's only so many games you can go back and watch. But I'm definitely up in social media, reposting on social media, commenting on social media, um, go to open training sessions when I go to games. Like it's it's a big part of my life. Yeah, I wouldn't say fanatic, but verging on. But I definitely would say that everyone that knows me thinks that I'm a fanatic and extremely one-eyed.
There's nothing wrong with that as long as you support you're supporting your football club. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, I tell many people, I said, I'm crazy in many of a different way because yes, I'm a Sydney Swan supporter, but a lot of for me, I'm a footy fan. I get up
Mhm,
at 11:45 and watch Sanford W games when I can, and I interact with people. I sometimes watch Waffle and Waffle W games at 1 in the morning if I'm happen to be awake. I'll sit there at work sometimes and put on a VFLW or a VFL game just to watch it. So I have
mhm.
the itch in so many different ways. So again, I will never, ever, ever say that somebody fans wrong. Everybody's going to fan differently. And I actually genuinely appreciate the passion that many Australians have for their club. So as I kind of said, this particular season is based on female fans. I want to discuss it because again, I'm a bloke. I will never have the experience of being a woman supporting or going to the footy or being at the footy. So I want you to talk to me a little bit. Do you feel that you're treated a little bit differently when you go to the footy than your male counterparts?
I don't think going to the footy. No, definitely not. It's very fun. It's banter. Everyone's there for the same thing to have fun, and it is like family friendly as well. And you get to meet some really cool people. I think um, the place I find it a bit hard sometimes is when you're commenting on things on social media.
Hmm.
And I've had men go, okay, Marilyn, get back to the kitchen, or say things like that just
Hmm.
because I'm a woman that will comment on football stuff. And I believe I'm well informed about these particular things that I'm commenting on. And yeah, there'll be a couple of guys that will have something to say about him, and I'll just tell them to jog on. And then there'll be men that stick up for me as well.
Hmm.
So, I think the social media space is probably more difficult, but definitely not going to the football, not feeling treated different at the football, just the social media space sometimes.
Yeah, and I completely understand that. And again, I said it on a couple episodes. I know I'll probably say it again. There are some fantastic female follows on social media that sometimes they absolutely torch people, and it is absolutely glorious to watch them
You're like,
absolutely eviscerate some of these,
yes,
as I call them, knuckle draggers. That just
yeah,
literally some idiot dude that just because he's a guy, he thinks he knows more, and it's absolutely comedy gold. Like Kate
yeah,
McCarthy, again, Kate McCarthy is still one of my favorite follows because she will
yeah.
absolutely drag people. And I absolutely am here for that. So I, as I said, as you said, you enjoy going to the footy. So give, if you can, give just a little bit of advice to fellow female fans. What's one way that really helps you enjoy the footy when you go to it live?
I like going, obviously, as many people as you can, friends and family, and make a day of it. You get there early. If there is a VFL game on beforehand, go and watch the VFL guys before the AFL. Like with where we're located at Punt Road, we're right next to the MCG, and
Mhm.
sometimes the VFL game's on a couple of hours before the actual game's on. So go and have a look at that. But when you're there at the stadium, talk to the people around you. When you're at the bar getting your drink, talk to the person next to you, no matter what color they're wearing. And, just engage in conversation. It just makes the whole experience so much more fun. You get to meet new people and even have a little bit of banter with the opposition, which is always, really fun.
The best thing is when you can have playful, fun banter
Hmm.
amongst each other, and there's a genuine respect. Like that's my
Hmm.
favorite thing is when I can get somebody when the Swans are playing the Cats, and I have a few Cats supporters who I know. I will have playful banter with them. I will
Hmm.
literally we will take the Mickey out of each other for fun. It is not that serious. We both
Yeah.
respect each other, and I think sometimes that makes the football even more fun is when you have that fun of being able to interact with the opposing, and there's the respect, but there's some playful jabs, and it's
Oh, yeah.
so much fun to do.
And it's comedy gold, and you just laugh
Oh yeah.
and yeah, that's that's my favorite part about going to a game
Hmm.
is meeting other people and having a chat. And they're like, "Oh, where are you from?" And then they find out you've come from interstate to watch a team to watch the game, and they're like, "Oh, wow!" And sometimes you end up sharing snacks, and
Hmm.
it's just haven't had a bad experience at the football.
Yep, yep. Again, it's one of those things. One day I want to get down there. And like I said, I've talked with so many people. It's whether it's to Sydney or Melbourne, South Australia, Western Australia, Brisbane, Queensland. I don't know, but if I do go, I cannot wait because I cannot wait for the banter. I think it's going to be so much fun. So, as you said, you had to ask your dad a little bit. So I'm interested. Can you remember? Did he give you the exact first ever Richmond game that you attended live?
He thinks it's the same one as me. It was sometime in the 90s, and it was Richmond and the Swans. Before that, I don't really have a memory of it, apart from getting paid to sing songs. Um, but I'm pretty sure it was one in Sydney, and it would
Mhm,
have been in the early to mid 90s. So it would have been around the end of Save Our Skins,
mhm,
or probably a little bit after that. Yeah, I just can't exactly pinpoint the year. I know I
mhm,
was younger, definitely, so I probably would have been younger than 10.
mhm. Nate, you've been a long time, and the best part is you got to see your club live. That's the biggest thing. One, so as again, you've had many years of watching this club. So this is always one of my favorite questions because it's kind of like as a parent choosing your favorite child. Sometimes it's difficult for some people. So, do you have a favorite player of the past? And do you have a
Mhm.
favorite player currently on the Richmond Tigers list?
So for me, I kind of run through like the legends that will always be, Kevin Bartlett, Sir Francis, Jack Dyer, all these legends of the club that have like been the foundation of the legacy of our football club. And then you come through, the 80s and 90s, and you've got Richo and Disco and all these guys. And then you come into the blessed years of the dynasty, where you have, obviously Dustin Martin. But for me, I always like the players that are always the guys that are the contributors, but not always the stars. So
Mhm,
like your Bashal Hoolies, your Camden McIntoshes, um, all of those kind of guys. As far as past players go, my favorite current player, and I've loved him for years, is Judson Clark. He's
mhm,
been from the day I watched him get drafted, saw his draft reaction video, and just how stoked he was just to be picked up and come to the Richmond Football Club. He's been riddled with injury, and I feel so bad for him. And I actually got to talk to him this year, and it was a couple of games before he redid his ACL. And he's just so sweet. And it just breaks my heart because I think I always thought I'd see him and Hugo on a wing each.
mhm.
Um, so yeah, I just hope after this ACL process, considering who we picked up in the draft this year, that there's still going to be somewhere for him to fit in.
Yep. Well, we will cross our fingers. We will touch wood. We'll do everything for it. I
Yes.
absolutely love it. And sometimes it's the lesser known ones when you fall in love with them are always those are great stories.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. So I'm fascinated on this one because you've
Hmm.
seen some successes recently. So I'm fascinated on this one. Most memorable moment so far as a Richmond Tigers supporter.
Okay, I could go with the easy ones like the prelim in 2017 to get into the grand final. Um, but I don't want to be that person. So I'm going to go with round one, game one this year.
Hmm.
For me, that was the best game. I wasn't there. I normally do go to the opening game every year, but for me, because everyone had Carlton winning by over 100 points, and then to be trailing like we were at halftime, and then to come back up and just see these young guys just give it a crack.
Mhm.
That was my favorite game to watch.
Yep. I will sit here and I will sit here and raise my hand on this one. I was extremely worried about Richmond going into this season because I worried, did they cut too deep? Did they go too young? And that
Mhm,
first game, I will not even lie with you. When I saw the score, and I hadn't even had a chance to watch the game, when I saw this, I literally jaw through the floor, could not believe it. I was like, this has got to be fake. There's no way. And then I
mhm,
sat down and I watched the game and just was enthralled by the tenacity of this Richmond Tigers
mhm,
team. I loved that they got after it. They had a crack, as you said. I absolutely adored the way they handled this year. The first game was kind of a perfect little, it was a microcosm of their entire season. Was it
mhm.
always pretty? Absolutely not. Then we'll be honest with ourselves and we'll discuss that a little bit later too.
Yeah.
Man, was that so much fun. So, and I have to do this. Question without notice. The
Sure.
celebration backflip after the goal. How
Mhm.
awesome was that?
Oh my God, I love it. It was so good. And like, you watch the interview after the game, and Seth was like, I've been wanting to pull that out for ages, but I just needed the right time. And we hadn't had the right time.
Mhm.
And, following on social media and stuff, you'd see him pop off these, little backflips and stuff. And then when he did that, I was just like, yes, this is how you start the year. This is round one, game one. This is awesome. Like, they had us, some people had us winning no games, and we
Mhm.
come out and we win one straight up when everyone was like, it's not going to happen. It's just Elton's going to win. It's not, it's going to happen, but let's see how much you're going to win by.
Mhm.
And I was so nervous that day. And I was
Yep.
just like, you know what? If we don't win, I was just hoping for, if we don't win, let's just not get slaughtered.
Mhm.
That was my hope.
No, no, they had a crack, and I absolutely loved it. And I thought that was, like I said, incredible moment. I was so happy for them because this got them on a little bit of confidence going into the season, and which actually is then a great transition because, again, was this the perfect season? Was this a season that we're all going to remember, that you're going to remember in Tigerland? Probably not. Was it one that you had to deal with? So you had to deal with some adversity. You dealt with injury. You dealt with not great form, but you had some incredible moments. As you said, round one was incredible to get that win and to kind of shut up a lot of pundits that were saying at the start of the year, would Richmond even win a game? Had they gone too young? Did they cut too deep? Did they let too many experienced veterans out the door? And they kind of shut them all up in round one. The pundits will say, well, look at the way they would did the rest of the season. But I still say I appreciated Richmond because they always gave it a crack. You knew
Mhm.
whoever was playing Richmond that week, they were in for a dogfight. Didn't matter who they were playing, where they were in the ladder. Richmond was going to have a crack. Sometimes it didn't go so well for them, but they had a crack. So your thoughts on this season?
For me, it was about seeing the green shoots, about exactly what you said, seeing them give it a red hot crack, seeing them grow throughout the games, seeing the team start to bond together and learn how to play with each other, because there's so many new people. And I was having the conversation with my dad before the draft saying we need to we need to cut like Hawthorn did, and we need to list manage like Geelong. And when we started getting all these picks from trading out players, I wanted to go elsewhere, and that's fine. Because, if you want to be at the club and play for the club, you want to, if you don't want to do that, it's then go. That's okay. And Blair Hartley obviously facilitated all of that for the guys. And I think that once we got all those young fellas through the door, and a lot of them already knew each other, it
Mhm.
was a really good feeling that that nucleus was already formed before the season actually started to open. So as the season went on and we started to see these young boys start playing really well and watch our veterans. I don't like calling them veterans because being 32 isn't old. Um,
Mhm.
really step into these leadership roles. And then some of the other like 3 to 5 year players start stepping more into leadership roles and stuff like that. You could actually start seeing that happen. And for me, that was the best part of watching the season. And then getting 5 wins when we weren't meant to get one. We got three
Mhm.
more wins in the season before. I don't think you can be angry at that when you are so quickly thrown into a rebuild.
Mhm. No, I'm 100% with you. And the scary part about it is there was still a young draftee who I think a lot of people are high on, Josh Smiley, still never even made
Hmm.
his debut this year. So
Yeah.
I've I said it to a couple of people. I said they're going to go through a couple of rough years because this young group is going to gel. They're going to grow, but as they
Hmm.
mature, they're going to gel together. And you could see something where in 3 to 5 years, this could be a team legitimately fighting for a chance to make finals, a chance to
Yep.
be in flight contention because they'll have all grown up together. They'll have experienced seasons together, the hardships, and then the successes that they have. I cannot wait to see this young group grow again. I thought they drafted well. The kids that they drafted over the last 2 years seem to really fit what they're wanting to do. So it's gonna. They're a fascinating watch for me because if they do like they did last year, they're going to give so many teams headaches because they
Hmm.
just don't give up. Cannot wait to watch this. So, as the Nuffy that you are, I know the answer to this. You're keeping track of the off season moves. So, your thoughts on
Hmm.
Richmond's moves this year and what they were able to get in the draft this year?
So with last year's draft, we built our spine
Mhm.
from defense through the middle up to the forward line. And it was for anyone who's not even just a Richmond fan, but for anyone that watched our games, you could see that we were missing speed.
Mhm.
We were missing speed. And particularly Sam Cumming and Grill. Everyone thought we would end up taking Roby, and I was expecting that we were. Not that because they were hinting at anything, because clubs are so good at holding their cards so close to their chest. But because we'd seen Brill in the VFL a couple of games, um, he does have that kind of shade Bolton can go from 1 to 100 really quickly off one step. And that's
Mhm.
the kind of thing that we needed in our team for this coming season. And then, once we can work on stoppages and clearances and stuff, and that molding together that we know that's going to come over the next 3 to 5 years, um, I'm just really interested to see how the new boys are going to work in the center, in around the mids, and how it's going to work. And plus, I'm actually really excited because during the trade, I thought we weren't going to take anyone in the trade. There was nothing, no one. I thought we were going to turn up, do nothing, and then walk away. And then we came away with Patrick from Geelong's BFL program, and he's an athletics guy. He'll run 2Ks before a game just to warm up. So I'm thinking
Mhm.
he's going to be like our Camden McIntosh protege, where he's going to be just a runner, just
Mhm.
run up, run back, be there, be that person that's going to fill that gap that Camden did so well for us for such a long time. So I'm really interested to see how he goes. And then once we actually get into proper, pre-season training at the start of the year, it'll be really good to see who fares well and no one gets hurt. And
Mhm.
Josh Smiley, hopefully he had surgery, so hopefully they can get him on the mend so we can see him sooner rather than later in the season.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. The set it and forget it winger where you can just put them on the other side of the field and just go run, go have fun.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun to see if that happens. So my next question, I really do need to change it because I've always been one is I don't like the word expectations. I put it in here because some
Hmm.
fans do. Some fans
Yep.
absolutely have expectations. So do you
Hmm.
have expectations for next year, or are you more of some things that you would like to see next year for the yellow and black?
I just like to see us amp up what we were doing this year. Because what we did this year was exactly what we needed to do, was to let the kids taste a win and
Hmm.
then bond with each other. And just that tenacity and the fight that we're not going to be an easy win for people for other teams. They're not going to go, oh, we've got Richmond this week, like we're going to win. I want us to be that team that can upset all the other clubs that think that we're just meant to be easy.
Hmm.
Um, and then watching them just starting to play more fluid football as a group because we've got after this season particularly. Um, and then I'd like to see them win 5 to 8 games. I think we could have won 8 games this season. That GWS game was pretty. We were there until we
Hmm.
weren't there in the last quarter, and I was actually at that game. Um, and it was the first game I took my niece and nephew to. My poor nephew cried because we lost.
You feel terrible. So you feel
Yeah,
absolutely terrible, unfortunately.
yeah,
So, all right, I want to go to one fun. This is a fun one. I love asking this
hmm
question because as somebody that I watch so many games, I know so many people that do, and they absolutely love it. So I'm gonna have some fun. I'm gonna install you as the men's list manager for one day. You can snatch one player from any of the other 17 clubs to kind of
hmm
give Richmond that spark, maybe to get them up the ladder a little bit, maybe even competing for finals. Who's that one player that you bring to Tigerland?
Found this really hard because I'm so invested in what we're doing that I don't want to bring anyone else in. But if I was, I think it would be Raoul.
He's a
Yeah,
he's
I
becoming a
think,
very popular one for sure.
yeah, he's the kind of person that we need.
Yep.
He's exactly what we need. Like our forward line is young, yeah, but then we've got the experience of Tom Lynch, and that they'll get there. And
Mhm.
then our defense is like it's set, it's solid. The kind of player that he is the kind of player that we need to fill that plug that hole in our team that we struggled without having a player like him this year.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's hard to find that guy that can just get into the bottom of the pack, get the footy, and somehow get it out to his teammates. Is absolute ball magnet. Absolutely love Matty Rowell again. I'm
Hmm
happy he's healthy and I'm happy he's playing well. It's difficult sometimes to watch it when he does it against your side, but
Yeah.
I appreciate what Matt Rawle does. So I'm 100% with
hmm
you. An incredible
Yeah.
player on that. So I know you're a footy nuffy. I'm interested on this. Do you keep an eye on the AFL on the Tigers AFLW side? And if so, your thoughts on this last season? Unfortunately, like the men, difficult season for
Yeah.
the W
I
girls.
think I think the deep dive that they did into the program after the season finished was
Hmm.
needed desperately. I don't watch as many AFLW games as I probably should, but I do follow them very intensively on social media.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, something needed to change, and I think that we learn a lot from what we did with the men's team,
Hmm.
and I think they've gone with the women's team. They're like, you know what, we just need to bite the bullet. We need to have a deep dive. We need to see where we can get better. We need to see what we can fix. We need to see who we can bring in or what isn't working.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. I'm a little shocked by the dropping of Grace Egan and then eventually moving her on because when
Hmm
you brought her in from Carleton, I legitimately thought you had a three-headed monster. You had Mon Conti, you
Yeah,
had Ellie McKenzie, and you had Grace Egan. I
yeah,
thought that's
yeah.
a three-headed monster that could absolutely terrorize the competition. And season one, it worked. The seasons after, it just didn't click. Now, Ellie McKenzie's
hmm
also struggled staying healthy and getting on the park, which that doesn't help.
Yeah,
And Mon Conti is Mon Conti. I mean, let's just be honest. She is absolutely ridiculous at times when I watch her play.
yeah,
She's as slippery as an eel. You just can't get a hold of her.
yeah.
So smooth, like she never seems rushed. And just I don't know what it was, but after season one, Grace Egan just it just didn't click. Things just didn't work
Yeah.
there. So I think it's best for her to move on. I think the move over to Adelaide, I think will eventually be good. I'm with you. I think the deep dive is really needed because when you have a player like Amon Conti and Ellie McKenzie, you can't waste seasons being where they are.
Yeah.
You cannot waste prime years of two really good players in this competition. Katie Brennan again is an absolute legend.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely love her to death. Caitlin
Yeah.
Greiser has come on and I think played fantastic for you guys. Beck Miller is one of my favorite defenders in the competition. Absolutely adore her to death. Um,
Hmm.
is again, it's a Richmond team. You look at it, there's some really good building blocks. There's just something not right. So I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, this deep dive will get the program back on track and maybe up
Hmm.
the ladder. So I'll ask this really quickly. As you said, you don't keep track of it. Do you have a favorite player on the team currently?
Well, it's going to be Monconti.
I had a
I know it's
feeling.
like saying Dustin Martin, right? Um,
No.
but then now we've got football's it couple now, which is
Hmm.
so cute with her and Ryan Mansell. Like clocking that was just it was just so cute. But I just like the way that she plays. Sometimes I find that when you do watch some of the women's games, when they're coming in to get the ball off the ground, instead of keeping their eye on the ball, they're looking to see who's coming at them. And then with her, she's just get the ball, see the ball, get the ball out. And then whoever comes in her way or comes at her is so be it. And I think that's why I like her because she's really ballsy.
Well, and she's like I said, she's smooth like silk. She just never
Yeah.
seems like she never seems like she gets rushed. And one of the things absolutely love about her, in fact, it was one of the things that with the Swan, I'm going to throw Swan just really, really quickly on here. This
Hmm.
is that one of the influences of Zippy Fish was Mon Conti, and I had
Yep.
said to a lot of my Swans people, I said I had watched her at East Fremantle and I said, this is Mon Conti's clone. I said, she's
Yep.
so much like Mon. It's scary. She's
Hmm.
smooth. She never gets rattled. She's always comfortable. She never seems like the pressure gets to her. And
Hmm.
I absolutely love it. So yeah, I'm 100% with you. I have my favorites. I love Hosco. Absolutely love
Hmm.
her to death.
Yep.
Her mark of the year was incredible.
Oh,
I
it could have
absolutely love
it
the courage.
it could have been so it could have gone so wrong. That
Beck Miller's
beast
probably
coming
only
on.
about maybe 4 centimeters away from absolutely plastering Hosco in the
Oh, yeah.
forehead. So,
So
so
when
it's
I
one of
saw
those.
that, I was like, I
Yep,
watched it over and over and over
yep,
again because you kind of like, because there's so many arms and going
yep,
all over the place, and she comes out with it, and you're like, wait a second, I need to watch it again and
yep.
or
Just to
try and
see how
slow
it
it
happened.
down
Yep.
to see
And
how it actually
favorite
happened.
is the still photo where you see and she's catching the mark and her eyes are closed. That's my favorite part about so many marks of the year is that if you catch the still shot at just the right time, their eyes are
Mhm.
completely closed as they are
Yes.
catching the
It's like
footy.
they're bracing.
Yep, exactly. Absolutely fantastic. Again, I love Hosco to death. She's a character and a half. There are so many great players on your Richmond team that I love too. Amelia Yasir is another one. I love watching her play when she can get on the park. Again, I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, the Richmond women's team can progress coming this year. So I'm gonna have some fun with this next couple of questions because as I
Oh,
kind of told you and you kind of know, I have not been to Australia. Again, it is my bucket list. Again, I have so many contacts down there. I'm going to capitalize on it one of these days. I'm going to get there.
oh, absolutely.
So
You'll have
I'm
so
doing
many places to stay.
exactly, I know. I'm doing some research at the end of the pods to make sure that when I go, I'm completely ready. So I must ask this. What is your go-to food when you go to the footy?
Meat pie and a beer, and I don't eat meat pies or drink beer unless I'm at the football. It's
Yep.
always, it's always, it's always a meat pie and a beer, and I'm not a beer drinker ever at all. But it's just one of those things. A meat pie and a beer, 4 and 20 meat pie and a beer. Although NG Stadium, has really, really, really good food.
Mm,
You can get nachos, you can get, it's just, their food's probably the best food out of all the stadiums that I've gone to. But if I'm at the MCG, it's going to be a meat pie and a beer.
mm. Absolutely, absolutely. So, as you said, you've been to the MCG. You're in New South Wales. So you've been to the SCG. You've been to NG Stadium. When you go to the game, where's your ideal place to sit to watch the footy?
I like to be as close to the boundary as possible and around the 50. Um, Either side doesn't bother me. But if I was to go and watch the football on my dream day, watching Richmond play, say, round one or Dream Time or Anzac, we had the opportunity to go to the Olympic Room at the MCG. And now that would be the most favorite seat I've ever had. You sit there and you don't even need to crane your neck to look from one goalpost to the other.
Mm-hmm,
It's you sit there and it's all right in front of you.
mm-hmm,
So that would be ultimately be the seat that I would always want to have. But I could probably about 3 to 5 seats from the boundary off of 50.
mm-hmm. To each their own. Again, that's what I love is that everybody's a little bit different. Some people want to sit a little
Mm-hmm.
bit higher so they can see a little bit more. I have others that
Mm-hmm.
they want to be in the supporter section. They want to be there. They want to be right on the boundary. I have some that are just they just want to be able to see the footy. They want to be able to see how that. So it's always
Mm-hmm.
fascinating. And I end my episodes with this again. I'm starting a playlist because there's some absolute classics I've been told for this particular question. Favorite game of football you have ever seen live at the ground on the telly from the past, from the present, doesn't matter. Favorite game of football you have ever seen.
So for me, I went with favorite game that I've been at because I can pluck a million different games from ones that I watch on television because I'm from New South Wales.
Hmm.
But my favorite game that I went to was this year when we beat the Suns at Marvel.
Hmm.
And no one had beaten them yet. We ended up on television, which was hilarious. After one of the calls against, I believe it was either Banks or Brown, and you could see it standing up, going ball,
Hmm.
and yeah, they go, oh, there's some Richmond supporters there that aren't happy with that call, and it's me and my daughter. So that would definitely be my favorite game that I've actually been able to go to and actually see them win over yet again another team that they didn't think we could beat.
Hmm. Absolutely fantastic. I love it. Well, Dee, that is all of my questions. Again, I could not wait for this chat, and it has is completely and absolutely gone to expectations. Again, I have talked with you. I know how much of a nuffy you are for the Richmond Footy Club and how much you love your footy. I go back and forth with you. I always try to catch up with you at least once or twice a season to see how you're going. When you're if you're going to Melbourne to watch a game, always so much fun. So I want to thank you so much for hopping on the podcast. It has been an incredible chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Go Tides.
Awesome, awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this episode of Donnie's Disposals. Again, keep track of it more in this supporter series and keep an eye out. The draft is coming very, very soon for the women. So we will have our free agency and trade review show very, very soon. Well, I will sit down and pick the brain of Peter Williams again to know what he thinks, who's moved, who hasn't moved, and what draft picks have gone where and what we see will be next season. Cannot wait. Absolutely love chatting with Pete. So that'll do it for this episode of Donnie's Disposals, and we'll be back with more footy coverage very, very soon.